In today's video, I want to discuss the Western Conference Playoff picture. There's only one spot that's left up for grabs, and it looks like it's either going to be the Colorado Avalanche or the St. Louis Blues. I want to discuss who will clinch that final spot. Plus, we have some channel updates as well, and that's coming up next. Welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. We review and discuss all 31 NHL teams. So if you're a huge hockey fan, consider subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. So as we mentioned off the top, today's topic of the video is basically discussing the Western Conference playoff race. For the most part, most spots have been secured. Obviously, teams are still jockeying for position, but we're down to one final spot, and it's a matter of who's going to grab it, either the Avalanche or the Blues. So we'll discuss that here momentarily. I also mentioned we had some channel updates, so I thought we should jump into that first and get that out of the way before we discuss the playoff picture. So first of all, the first thing for channel updates that I wanted to discuss and just acknowledge and offer a thank you is we just hit a new milestone for subscribers yesterday. We reached 800, I believe, at the recording of this video. I think we're at 806. So 800 subscribers for us is a fairly big milestone. The next big one we're really looking forward to is 1,000. Hopefully we'll reach that soon, but I just wanted to take a moment and just say thank you to everybody who's taken the time to subscribe and people who have watched a number of videos and liked and commented, etc. All of your support and engagement with the channel really means a lot, and I just wanted to take a minute, acknowledge that, and just to say thank you very much. We are considering doing another giveaway. We did a small giveaway at the 100 subscriber mark back in the early part of the winter here, but we wanted to consider doing another one. We don't have anything firm planned as of yet. Thinking about possibly doing one around the 1,000 subscriber mark. I'm not 100% sure yet. I thought I would solicit your opinions before we confirm anything while we're going through the planning stages of setting something like that up. Obviously, when it comes to hockey related stuff, we can look at either jerseys, hats, hockey cards, different memorabilia, etc. We did the first giveaway we did, it was at that 100 mark, where it was a hockey card giveaway, and that one didn't generate a whole lot of interest, but at the same time the channel was much smaller at that point. We've gained obviously over 700 plus new subscribers and many other viewers since then, so I thought the best way to find out what people would like is just to ask. So if we do that, what kind of hockey related material or things would you like to see involved in a giveaway? If you could pick between hockey cards, a hat, maybe a jersey. Obviously jerseys are more expensive, so it kind of depends on the price point. So different things like that. What would you like to see? Leave some comments down below and we'll take all that in consideration, and hopefully we'll have an announcement here sometime soon advising on what the giveaway is going to be and when. The other channel update I wanted to jump into quickly here before we get into the playoff race is just talking a little bit about our Patreon page that we set up a little while back. We're in the process of developing some exclusive content for our Patreon page, which we have set up now for a little while. We haven't had a chance to do a whole lot with it yet, and I haven't really talked about it a whole lot on here. Obviously, if you're not familiar with it, there's a link down below in the description. Patreon is basically another way outside of YouTube that you can help support the channel. Obviously, we want to take this to another level. We want to continuously improve the quality and quantity of the videos here all the time. I'd like to be able to put out more videos, and I'm always looking at ways to improve the quality, whether the quality of the picture, the audio, everything. It's my goal here to continuously improve this channel all the time. I think we've done a fairly good job of that since the beginning. I think if you go back and watch some of the early videos when I first launched the channel back in the fall, I feel like the quality's improved a whole lot myself, and I've had some comments from some viewers reflecting that as well. So it's nice to hear those comments and an acknowledgement. So that's greatly appreciated for those of you who've taken the time to mention that. But obviously to continue doing that, support through Patreon would be huge and be greatly appreciated. So basically, in a nutshell, what Patreon is it's a way for you to support the channel, and by supporting the channel you get some exclusive content and some different perks that not all viewers would get access to. So go ahead and check out the Patreon page if you don't mind. The link's down below in the description. So once this video comes to a close, if you could check that out. We're in the process of developing a bunch of content here. There's not a lot there right now, but either way, if you want to support the channel, you can do that through Patreon, and there is a lot of plans coming forward here that will be going here soon, probably as soon as the playoffs start, as early as next week, to have some exclusive content available for Patreon members. So if you could check that out, I'd greatly appreciate it. Now let's jump into the Western Conference playoff picture here, the main topic of today's video. Obviously, as I mentioned, most spots have been locked up. Last night there was a lot of movement. Obviously, we saw the St. Louis Blues follow the Chicago Blackhawks, and that caused some other teams to clinch. A combination of them losing and other teams winning. So we saw the Kings and the Ducks both clinch spots. So obviously right now in the Western Conference, we've got a lot of teams locked up right now. From the Central Division, you've got the Predators, the Jets, and the Wild are all clinched. From the Pacific Division, you've got the Golden Knights, you've got the Sharks, and now you've got the Kings and the Ducks. So there's only one wildcard spot up for grabs. It's really boiled down to these two teams here behind me, the Avalanche and the Blues. They both have 2 games remaining, and one of those games is against each other this weekend. So there's a pretty good possibility here that that game on Saturday night is going to determine who makes the playoffs and who doesn't. So obviously having games like this down the stretch as the season comes to a close makes things very exciting and interesting. So I want to hear from you down in the comments, between the Avalanche and the Blues, who do you think is going to make that final spot? Right now, if I had to look at how both teams are playing and what they have left for a schedule, my gut feeling kind of leans towards the Avalanche myself. The St. Louis Blues obviously have been an up and down season all year. They've had some inconsistent play from some positions, mainly Jake Allen's a big one. As much as I really do like Jake Allen, I am a fan of his, but his play this year has been up and down all season, which is kind of the story of his career in a way. It's unfortunate really, but like the game last night in Chicago versus Chicago, we really saw, I think he ended up allowing 4 goals, and in my opinion, a couple of those goals at least he really should have had. Now, there was a couple that you could tell that he's kind of screened, he couldn't see real well, so it's not all Jake's fault, but at the same time, I know there's a couple, if you asked him, that he definitely would want back, and he seemed very frustrated that it got by him. So, as a Blues fan right now, how are you feeling about this team as they go into the stretch here? I mean, obviously, the Avalanche have to go in and play the San Jose Sharks. And then obviously they have a game left against the Blues, and the Blues play the Avalanche, and they also have a game against the Blackhawks again. So obviously they have a rematch from last night's game tomorrow evening, and then they play the Avalanche on Saturday to determine who is going to get that final spot. So obviously the way Nathan MacKinnon and the Colorado Avalanche have been playing, I think right now I have to give an edge to them. Even if the Colorado Avalanche don't end up beating the San Jose Sharks and grabbing any points, either they have an overtime loss or a regulation loss, it's going to come down to the fact that if they win, because they have a 1-point lead on the Blues right now, if they beat the Blues on the weekend, they're going to be in. And with those two teams going head-to-head, I'd probably pick Colorado right now. Just the way they've been playing. I know McKinnon hasn't been as hot down the stretch here as he was at times during the year, but he's still overall, I think the Avalanche have been playing better as a team. The Blues had a good run there for a while to kind of get themselves back into the picture, back into the playoff race, but they've kind of fallen down lately. I mean, they had that blowout loss against the Coyotes, and now they blew it against Chicago. I mean, you know, it's the old expression, I've heard it on a few times today, is the Blues blew it, and they really did. They had that game in hand last night, and then they absolutely collapsed in the third period and gave that game away. Obviously, the game really didn't mean anything to Chicago except playing the role of spoilers, and they actually did a pretty good job at that against St. Louis. So leave some comments down below. Who do you think is going to grab that last wild card spot? Is it going to be the Blues, or is it going to be Nathan MacKinnon and the Colorado Avalanche? If you're new to the channel, I hope you consider subscribing. We cover all 31 NHL teams. There's plenty of content here for all fan bases to enjoy. If you haven't done so already, please consider checking us out on Twitter. You're going to find our Twitter handle on the screen right here. We're very active on Twitter, so check out that account. It's linked down below in the description. As always, thank you very much for watching, everybody. We'll catch you next time.